Hey, friend, I'm so glad that you're here. I think one of the hardest parts about wanting a relationship with God is not knowing if you actually can. What if you try? What if you lean in and show up and it still feels quiet? And when that happens, most of us don't question the process. We question ourselves. We assume that we're doing something wrong, or maybe that we're just not the kind of person that this life with God thing actually works for. And I don't think we talk about that enough. And I think the reason that it can feel that way might be different than what you think. At least it was for me, because I didn't know that you could have relationship with God. When I received salvation, my response to Jesus was genuine. But I thought what he wanted most from me was my good behavior. But I was wrong. I didn't understand the life that God actually invited us into. And so I just worked really hard trying to do all of the things that I thought I was supposed to do as a believer. I started hearing people talk about relationship with God. At first, it made me mad. I was like, I am working so hard and I'm not even one of the special people that gets to know God in this way. But when I tried to approach him, a lot of my actions still weren't actually relational. I was just being transactional, but with a better language. Like I'd sit down to read my Bible, and it wasn't, God, what do you want to show me? It was, okay, I need to prove myself or improve myself here. What am I supposed to learn? What's my big takeaway to work on? I didn't know that I was actually invited by God to be with him. I thought I just needed to do things that proved that I cared. Have you ever done something spiritual, but it still didn't feel like you were actually with God? I think that's what a lot of us experience. We want relationship with God, but the way that we approach him doesn't actually look like any of the other relationships in our lives. It's almost like we abandon everything we know about how relationships work when we apply it to God. Think about it this way. As humans, healthy relationships grow through two main things: healthy communication and shared experiences. If you think about the people in your life that you're the closest to, that know you the best, that you feel like you really know, you have gone through ups and downs together. In our close human relationships, we listen and we respond and we're honest and we're there for each other. But with God, we often redefine relationship as doing things for him. We work hard trying to get things right. We show up to Bible study, to read our Bible, to go to church, to volunteer, and we're trying to do things that show God we care enough. By our actions, we're hoping that that results in a sense of closeness or awareness or intimacy with him. We redefine relationship with God as behavior management. But God offers us so much more than that. That's why I'm so passionate about helping you experience life with God, not just for him, not just because of him, not just under his covering or blessings or authority, but with him. We get to read God's word with the author, with God, and meet with him. And that shift right there, it changes everything. You're here because you want relationship with God. But most of us have been handed a version that's just too small. So if you're tired or distracted or unsure, and it feels like you're failing at this walk with God, the question I have for you today is, what if God was never meant to fit inside those boxes? What if you're not actually behind? You've just been working with a broken definition. I think underneath all this, there's a fear that we don't always say out loud. What if God doesn't show up for me? What if I try and listen and there's nothing? What if I open my Bible and it still feels flat? What if other people experience him and I don't? And so instead of risking that, we try and keep things safer. We stick to what we control. with routines and structure and checklists. We allow other people to go listen to God for us. And then they come back and tell us what He's like and what He would have us do. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for good biblical teaching. I am a Bible teacher. But we don't have to settle for a between us and Jesus. You're here because you know that there's more, or at least you hope that there's more that God offers to you. And I want to encourage you that there is, and He does, because God doesn't simply want you to manage religion through structure and routines. He is living and active and invites you to come and know Him and to be known by Him. That's the relationship that you and I were created for. And as I started learning how to experience life with God, I realized that I didn't have to clean things up in order for me to draw near to Him. That I could come to Him with more honesty than I thought I could previously. Where before I thought it was up to me to transform myself for Him, I now know what it's like to continuously be transformed by Him. And let me tell you, it's a lighter way. I got to start experiencing how He is closer than I ever thought possible. And that even in the times when I was afraid that God wouldn't show up for me, He was already showing up, just not in the ways that I had been taught to look for. I learned that I didn't have to try to get God's attention anymore, that His gaze was already on me, that I already had His attention and affection, and I got to start learning how to notice where He already was. And that's when relationship with God started to feel real. And that's why I create the resources that I do, like these videos and Bible plans on the YouVersion Bible app, and Life with God letters that show up once a month in your physical mailbox. I want to help you experience real, vibrant relationship with Him. And so if you're here and you're thinking, yeah, this sounds great, but how do I actually live like that? I have a 3-step reset for you. The first one is to simply acknowledge. Acknowledge that if God says He is here, He is here. God, you say that you are here, and so I believe it. Help make that real for me. The second step is to acknowledge what is true for you and to be honest with Him. God, this is where I actually am. And then third, share the moment. Respond to His invitation to know Him more, to be known by Him, even in the areas of your life that feel messy or out of control. And invite Him into the moment with you. God, I'm in this circumstance. I have this need. I have this wondering. Will you clue me in on what you're doing or how you're here with me? You're not trying to force something spiritual to happen. You're simply learning to respond to our God who is already present. And these steps today might feel small, but this is where real relationship grows. In the everyday, in the small moments. Those two can be shared experiences with God. And if you're thinking right now, man, I'd love to talk with God that way, but how do I know if in that shared moment with God, I'm actually hearing God speaking, or if that's just my own thoughts? I want to validate that that question matters. Part of growing is stepping out, trusting that God will lead you, that He will meet you with exactly what you need when you need it. And I have another video that will walk you through recognizing His voice really simply, talking about what it means and what it looks like to hear God in real life. And so if that question resonates with you at all, I encourage you to watch that video next. You are not behind in your relationship with God. You haven't missed it. God is not more available to other people than He is to you. He is closer than we can possibly know. And God's not waiting for you to get better at this before He shows up. He is already with you, and He is excited to go through life with you because you and God belong together. You're in the right place. And I'm so grateful to get to walk this journey with you.